Thank you all. The gentleman from Tennessee is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Admiral Montgomery, you note that Iran, and specifically the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, is aggressive in its cyber attacks of Israeli networks. They're also among the primary threats to our networks here. How robust is our cooperation with Israel to assist each other in protecting against this common enemy?
Yeah, thanks for asking that, because, you know, Congress did pass an act directing increased and improved cybersecurity cooperation between the United States and Israel about 4 years ago, and we've seen significant improvements. I would say there's tiers of cooperation. Probably the top tier is the United States and the United Kingdom. Through Five Eyes, we have an extensive level, a very integrated level of cooperation, both in cyber and cryptographic intelligence sharing. But I'd put Israel very high on the list. I think we share threat information smoothly and fluidly. Tools that we see, that we detect, we share with each other. Again, probably not on the same level as the United States and United Kingdom, but very close. We have a common shared threat in Iran. Thankfully, the Israelis have done a lot to deter Iranian action over the last 6 months with their extensive strikes into Israel, into Iran, both kinetic and non-kinetic. But yes, our cooperation with them is at the highest level.
I was going to say, I think arguably Israel is in some ways our eyes and ears on the ground, and arguably the roughest neighborhood in the world. And so as you look at our relationship with the United Kingdom, what could or should we be doing with Israel to increase that partnership, understanding we have that common and shared enemy?
So I do think that there's probably a level of classification that we can increase ourselves, of sharing, that we could increase ourselves to even higher. But I would say, I think we do a very good job. And frankly, the Israelis do a great job providing information to us on what they see. Look, this is an alliance in all but, paper. We share information closely. We share a common threat. We provide weapons to Israel in a very useful way. So I think we're doing great work. The real order in there is continue what we're doing.
Yes, sir.
And I'll just add, from a defensive perspective, in the post-October 7th, when I was in CISA, we were sharing every single day with the Israeli National Cyber Directorate information on what we were observing in terms of potential actors looking to target Israel. Those were from nation states, non-nation states who were in that environment looking to pile on. And that information sharing was consistent, and it was built on a decades-long relationship that we had established.
Well, Mr. Wells, since you jumped in here, in light of the Silk Typhoon intrusion at the Treasury Department, how would you assess the adequacy of Treasury's cybersecurity posture?
So, I think the compromise of Treasury was interesting because, again, going after a third party, in this case, going after a third party security application beyond trust, I think Treasury's security has dramatically improved, just like much of the federal government over the past 8 years. But what I would say is we're forcing adversaries to go after more complex targets and launch more complex operations, in this case, again, using a third-party supply chain attack, which is good, but it also puts increased burden on us as a country to make sure that we're looking for those more complex attacks, that we're managing third-party risk, that we're understanding how they can use supply chains to target our most critical systems, and what we can and what we should expect from technology providers to ensure that their software and the technology that they provide to both government and industry is as secure as possible.
Well, in that context, when we look at the third-party providers, and obviously there's a vulnerability there, in respect to Treasury and other agencies, how do they compare in mitigating that risk as you're forced to integrate and provide technologies for the consumer and for governments, et cetera?
I would refer you to people who are in government now who may have a better sense of where Treasury stacks up, but I will say that when I last was impressed with their level of capability.
Yes, sir. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back.